Good evening. My name is Mark Sforzini. I'm the Executive and Artistic Director of the St. Petersburg Opera Company. Thank you for joining me tonight for Opera and Chill, Monday Night Opera. We are gearing up to stream our 2015 production of The Barber of Seville at 7 p.m. And this is the preview show, so we're going to talk a little bit about The Barber of Seville. I have a special guest tonight, Gabriel Pricer, who was the Figaro in that production of The Barber of Seville, and he'll be joining me a little later. Barber of Seville is one of the great comic operas. It was written by Rossini. Rossini churned these out for about a period of 20 years in his lifetime. He was writing like 2 or 3 operas a year, so just an extremely prolific composer. And The Barber of Seville is the first of 3, it was based on the first of 3 plays by the French playwright Beaumarchais that revolve around the very clever and very entertaining character of Figaro, which is again the character that Gabriel played in the Barber of Seville. So, I also want to say that I have some big news to announce tonight that has nothing to do with opera, and that'll be coming up a little later. But to get started, I do want to recognize our wonderful sponsors for the production of The Barber of Seville in 2015. Zena Lansky and Warren Rogers were our sponsors for the production of The Barber of Seville that took place in the Palladium. There were 3 performances at the very end of January and a couple the first week of February. Thank you so much, Zena, for your sponsorship. And I also want to recognize our stage director for The Barber of Seville. Barber of Seville was stage directed by Carl Hesser, who has stage directed several productions for the St. Pete Opera Company. The lighting for that production was done by Keith Arsenault, and I've lost track, but I feel like Keith has lit over 40 shows. So, you know, it's always good to be well lit when you're in the theater. As I grab my glass of wine, I hope you've got a glass of wine or your favorite beverage for tonight, because this production of The Barber of Seville that's going to show at 7 p.m., it had such a fantastic cast. Really a tremendous cast. And that's what I would like to do next, is I would like to tell you about the cast from The Barber of Seville. We're going to start with the tenor role of Count Almaviva. Count Almaviva, sort of the hero of The Barber of Seville, the romantic lead, played by Blake Friedman. And I have to tell you, when I first heard Blake audition in New York City, I just was so impressed with this young man's voice. This is such a great talent and somebody to really watch for as their career develops. But Blake played the Count Almaviva, and he pretended to be a poor student. Often these wealthy characters will pretend to be someone poor because they want the woman that they are questing after to love them for themselves and not necessarily their money. Now, Almaviva had a henchman, a manservant, Fiorello, played by Andrew Potter. Andrew has been quite a regular at St. Petersburg Opera. I think he was last seen as the Bones in Madama Butterfly. The object of Almaviva's affections is Rosina. Rosina is the pretty young ward of Dr. Bartolo, who I'll introduce in a moment. But Rosina was played by Megan Marino. And probably an interesting bit of trivia about this production that most people don't know is that Megan was not our original Rosina. Our original Rosina arrived at rehearsals and the second day got rather sick. And we went through, I guess, almost 10 days. I think we went to about day 11, and we all realized that we were going to have to replace Rosina because of some health issues. So Megan Marino came in as pretty much a last-minute substitution. I mean, it seemed like there was maybe only a week there to learn all the staging and blocking, and Megan did a really fantastic job coming in and working with the ensemble and picking up on the staging, and really gave a great performance. So that's a little inside information that most people don't know. Now, Megan was under the guardianship of Dr. Bartolo. Dr. Bartolo, played by Tony Dillon. Tony lives right here in the Pinellas County area. What a local treasure for us, but Tony has sung at opera companies all over the country and all over the world, and it's just so nice to have Tony Dillon performing sometimes with the St. Petersburg Opera Company. And his work as Dr. Bartolo, as you'll see if you tune into the broadcast, is quite humorous. One of Dr. Bartolo's housemaids was Berta, played by Allison Buchanan, an amazing voice and amazing talent. Of course, the character I've made reference to many times, Figaro, the character who's sort of central to these three Beaumarchais plays, was played by Gabriel Pricer. And he's so much more than just merely a barber. He's really the man about town who knows how to do everything. We call him a factotum. So Figaro is a baritone in the Barber of Seville, and usually, a baritone sort of on the higher end of the baritone range, but in the opera The Marriage of Figaro, Figaro can also be a baritone, but he can also be a bass baritone or a bass. I also have to chuckle because the tenor part in Barber of Seville, Count Almaviva, when we're all rooting for Count Almaviva to be successful in finding love with Rosina, he's sort of the good guy, and he's a tenor, but when he comes back in The Marriage of Figaro as composed by Mozart, now he is a baritone, and I'll just let you derive what you want to derive from that. Anyway, Gabriel's going to be joining me shortly, and he was the Figaro in our production. And then we have a music teacher, Basilio. Basilio was played by Todd Donovan. Another interesting bit of trivia: this 2015 production was the second time St. Pete Opera did The Barber of Seville, but Todd was also the Basilio in the first production of The Barber of Seville. Todd's been quite a regular staple at St. Petersburg Opera Company. So that is our wonderful cast, and now you are probably seeing someone who is not in the cast. This is my special personal announcement. This is Rhubarb, and Rhubarb is the newest addition to our family here in South Tampa. So Rhubarb does not sing opera yet. She's only 8 weeks old, and she just joined us today. I think she's a little scared of the camera. So this is Rhubarb, and you'll probably be seeing more of her lately in the near future. Thank you for coming on, Rhubarb. Hi, girl. And with that said, I am going to bring on our guest for tonight, Gabriel Pricer, the Executive Director of Opera Orlando. Transitioning over to Gabriel. There you are. Hi, Gabriel. Oh, unmute. Make sure you unmute.
Hey, Mark. Good to see you, and nice to meet Rhubarb.
You got to see Rhubarb? That's the newest addition of this Sforzini Roberts household. She's only 8 weeks old.
Oh, she's adorable.
It's been kind of hard to concentrate today with Rhubarb being around and all the joy and fun of having a new puppy in the household.
Yeah, I bet. I have 2 kids myself, and that's plenty for me. We don't need a new puppy.
I think you said your children are 6 and 3, right?
That's right. Yeah.
That sounds like a handful.
They keep us entertained, especially during this socially distant time. It's been fun. It's been lots of fun with the kids. Yeah.
So I introduced you to our viewers as the Executive Director of Opera Orlando, but we also know you to be a fantastic performer, so you must have your hands some in the artistic pot also.
Yeah. For some reason, they put me in charge of the opera company over here. I was serving as the executive and artistic director for a while, and I finally promoted my brother to the artistic director position because he's the real talent in the family. Anyone that knows my brother Grant Pricer, fabulous set designer, stage director, he does all of our graphics. And how fun that I get to work with my brother, and we've just had a lot of fun kind of getting opera back up and going here. There was a company that was around since the 50s, and then the Orlando Philharmonic took on opera for a while. We're going into our 5th season as Opera Orlando, and we just have a lot of fun with the art form.
I was going to ask you how many years, so the 5th season, that's really exciting work. And we're going to show the viewers a little later some stuff about promoting your next season. But let's go back in time to 2013. So pre-Opera Orlando for you.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Your first time with St. Pete Opera was playing Mercutio in Romeo and Juliet.
I remember the tights. Yes.
Were they? I think they were really colorful, weren't they?
They were colorful and they were tight, as tight should be. They were snug. Yeah. You would think as an opera singer I would be used to tights, but you never get used to tights. Can I just say that? You never get used to tights.
Well, Mercutio sings an aria that we sort of affectionately just call the Queen Mab aria. And often you'll hear baritones sing that at auditions. Although I always feel like it's a thorny choice if you don't know the pianist, because it has a fiendishly difficult piano part.
Exactly. It's torturous for the pianist.
So when our listeners watch this and they hear the violins playing at super fast speeds, imagine the pianist, sitting down doing that in the audition, perhaps with a singer they've never worked with before or something. But I thought we'd get this conversation going by reliving Mercutio's Queen Mab aria with you at the Palladium.
Oh my gosh! Wow,
and
last one was fast.
I also want to tell the people tuning in that after St. Pete Opera purchased the property we now call Opera Central, this was the first set we constructed in our scenic shop on our own. So this was sort of our maiden voyage on building our own set in our own space. So we're going to flip over here. I think you taught me about this technology, and I want to talk about that in a minute. But I think when I clip over to this, it's supposed to just automatically start. Here we go. Yes. still... There we go. Okay, does that bring back some memories?
Yeah, my gosh. I now remember that staircase quite vividly, and the whole time thinking, gosh, keep my breath low as I'm trying to sputter out all this rapid French and then get the legato phrase at the same time. I had forgotten that until watching this video. Oh my gosh, wow.
I think that sometimes audiences don't realize what's demanded of opera singers in terms of the mechanisms that they use to sing the way they sing, but then what is sometimes asked of them in the staging as well. You know, I noticed that too. I was thinking about that. Wow, you know, you're sort of going up that staircase almost backwards and singing that aria.
Trying to find you, trying to see you and make sure we're together. And yeah, it's a lot to think about, but it's fun. I mean, it's what we live for as opera singers.
Right. It's an exciting business, and what we would give to just be doing that again now, right?
Oh my gosh. Hit the nail on the head. Yeah. Hopefully we'll be back to live theater soon.
We really miss it. We miss it. So what did you think? That was your first time singing in the Palladium Theater. What did you think about that?
Oh, I think the Palladium is a great venue, fabulous acoustic. I think it's so clever, so genius how you guys have the orchestra placed so that the audience can see them. They're not too prominent, but hopefully as an opera patron, the audience can appreciate that it's not just about the singer, you know, it's about the entire musical experience. The orchestra plays a very important role in opera, and you had to make the venue work. You know, there was no pit, obviously, so I enjoyed my time at the Palladium. It's a very intimate venue. I felt close to the audience, and we had a blast with both the productions I've done there.
So you came back in January 2015, which something like 16 months later or something, to do this lead role in the Barber of Seville. Is that like a dream role for you, to be Figaro in Barber of Seville?
It's definitely one of my favorite roles, and has been the role that I've done the most, both the Rossini's Figaro in Barber of Seville and Mozart's Figaro and Le Nozze di Figaro. I guess for some reason I have become Figaro in my life, and that's fine. It's kind of typecasting. I feel like I wear many hats, a jack of all trades, so it's a lot of fun to dive into, and I was honored to get to do it with St. Pete.
Well, you mentioned that, and I want to pull up a photo here. I'm showing everybody a photo where you are sort of, your fingertip is touching Dr. Bartolo's fingertip, and your right leg is like up in the air, like almost like you're in some sort of mid-leap. And the physicality, it looks so good, and I think of you, you know, I think of your work and what a great physicality you have on stage. And I wanted to ask, you know, have you taken dance or movement classes, or what do you attribute your excellent physicality on stage to?
Well, I don't know if I'm as flexible as I used to be. I did take ballet classes when I was in high school, and that was a time when I was maybe pursuing more music theater than opera, and you have to really be a triple threat. So I got some dance instruction, but really when I get on stage, I just get into the character, and half the time I have no idea what I'm doing with my body. I just try and have fun and try and stay loose and be true to the character.
Well, as they often say, if you're having fun, then the people watching you are often having fun. You use the term triple threat. I know what that means, but tell our listeners, in case they don't, what a triple threat is.
Oh, yeah, of course. So in music theater, triple threat means you have good singing chops, good acting chops, and good dancing chops. I never really developed the dancing chops. I remember in my college audition for the music theater program at Florida State, which has a very good music theater program, I did the dance portion of the audition. And afterwards, the head of their dance program said, now, are you willing to work on your dancing? Are you willing to work on that? And I took that as I did not impress them. But you know, that's a whole other level. Those music theater, I give them a lot of props for being able to hone all those skills.
And go Seminoles! I'm guessing you know I'm a Seminole also.
Stars. Oh yeah, go Knowles. Yeah.
Have you been in a West Side Story?
Almost,
Yeah.
almost. Yeah, I've been offered a riff a couple of times, and that's what's really fun. I obviously pursued opera instead of music theater, but I've been able to cross over. Getting the classical voice training, I've been able to cross over and do musicals. I've done Billy Bigelow and Carousel,
Didn't
Harold
you do
Hill, The Music
Music
Man.
Man? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to do West Side Story, but it just hasn't happened yet.
Right. I'm going to show everybody one more picture. This is a picture of 6 of the 7 Barber of Seville principals in the middle of the Act 1 finale. When you've all frozen, there was suddenly a knock on the door, and you are pressing Count Almaviva's mustache to his face. It got quite a chuckle from the audience.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that moment?
Well, either I'm holding back a sneeze, one of Blake's sneeze. No, I remember this moment very specifically, actually. For whatever reason, that mustache would never stick. He's supposed to be disguised as a soldier in this scene. And even in the dress rehearsal, we had a hard time getting that mustache to stick. It was especially bad in one of the performances. And it turns out bad is a good thing in this case, because it became kind of a running bit to see who would keep his mustache on him. And the audience totally knew what was happening, and they ate it up. They ate it up. So live theater for you.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, you and Blake are such pros that you played it off wonderfully. I think the night that it was particularly not sticking happened to be the night we were making our archival video that we're going to be showing later tonight.
Perfect.
Also,
Perfect.
the other thing about that shot is that every production of the Barber of Seville that I've been involved with, whether it was playing as a bassoonist in the orchestra or conducting or just watching as an audience member, it just strikes me as an opera where the principals are all having so much fun together. What is it like to do the ensemble work on the Barber of Seville? Is it as much fun as it looks?
Oh, I think so. I mean, there's the technical side of it, figuring out that pattern and the sequences, and there's some challenges in just memorizing Rossini's music. But once you wrap your head around it, it's a machine, and it just rolls on and on and on. And getting to sing with other great voices like Tony, Blake, Megan, Todd Donovan. I mean, we had a great cast. So you're just in the middle of all this resonance, singing this really fun, playful music, running around the stage, acting a fool with Carl Hesser's staging his hijinks that he put in there for us, and also Rossini's own hijinks that he put in there. So, yeah, once you get over the technical stuff, it's a blast. It really is a lot of fun.
Great. Well, our time is kind of, drawing to an end, and I want to talk some about Opera Orlando and what you're doing over there. So I've got an image here. I think this is 2020, 2021 heroes I'm showing people. I see 3 ladies in costumes, fabulous costumes. I believe I recognize the first 2. I think the first one on the left is Sarah Norden as Prince Orlovsky.
Yep. That's right.
And the second one is Robin Rockline as the witch in Hansel and Gretel. So those are two. Those are two.
Recognize Robin, because that was a real transformation. She does not look like that, as you know.
I know, but I know she was. I saw the show where you had her as a guest, and I knew she was coming as the witch. Yeah. So Sarah and Robin have also worked at St. Pete Opera, and it's this wonderful talent that lives here in the area or has connections here in the area. We share them, and I think it's just great. The woman on the right is new to me. I'm guessing she's Carmen, but I don't know who she is.
That's right. That's our Carmen for next season. Brianna Hunter, fabulous mezzo-soprano, kind of a rising star. She was in Blue recently. She's done Carmen before. Opera News raved about her Carmen, so we're excited to bring her down to Orlando, and hopefully you can come over for that, Mark. That Carmen will be in March of 2021, so hopefully by then we'll be in the clear.
Well, I will be hungry to come. I'll be hungry to come see everything. I mean, if the I was going to ask you because I think the Fledermaus happens right at the end of October, correct? Yeah, and
It's in
I'm
a larger
planning
venue,
I'm
so
planning to come see that, but I was going to ask you. I'm sure our viewers are wondering, are you a little bit nervous about what's going on with, health in the state and all of that?
for sure, for sure. You see the numbers going back up, unfortunately, and right now we're in phase two. We might probably still be in phase two. Hopefully, we're not back in lockdown come October, and so we put together a plan, assuming we're still in phase two for October, and we're going to be in a larger venue that actually seats 2,700, so we can spread people out. We can keep them socially distanced and still fit about 1,000, which would be great for us as an opera audience. Looking at maybe having the orchestra on the stage and thinking about ways we can keep our performers safe as well. But right now we're moving forward. Fingers crossed that we can do Die Fledermaus at the end of October and that we don't have to postpone.
Well, I wish you the very best with that, and if you are doing Die Fledermaus, I plan to come see it. Yeah, you have some amazing people in the cast. One of them, Sarah Norden, dressed as Prince Orlovsky. There was, just the opera world's such a small world. She was Prince Orlovsky for us back in like 2010, and she just sang
really?
on our. Yes, I don't know if you knew that or not, but
I know that. Okay.
yeah. And she just.
The Eisenstein's a real man, so you don't want to come see him.
I know it's going to be great because I know you cast fantastic people, and I want to show our audience your promo. You've got a 60-second promo that promotes your upcoming season, so I'm going to switch over to that.
Great.
And let's see if this plays. I want to tell people, too, before I do that, I want to give a big kudos to Gabriel Pricer because when we all went into quarantine, I noticed Gabriel was doing live shows on Fridays at noon with Opera Orlando. And, of course, St. Pete Opera has all these archives of our past productions, and we wanted to start showing them, but I wanted to preview them with a Facebook Live show. And a big kudos to you, Gabriel, because I did not understand how to make the live streaming stuff really work and to do this type of interview we're doing now with the split screen and to transition to videos and transition to headshots. And so I want everybody out there who's listening to know that my friend and colleague Gabriel shared with me the secrets of OBS software and how to make this happen. So thank you so much for that, Gabriel.
You're very welcome. I was happy I could do it. We all have to kind of get creative and learn all these platforms. So happy I could help. Anytime, Mark. Anytime. You're a dear friend.
And we are going to show your 60-second promo, and it's pretty high def, so it might skip once or twice. We'll see how it goes. All right, here we go.
All right.
Wonderful. Now I've got to find my way back to the screen with Gabriel here. Here we go. There we are. Yes, it may have skipped some. I was sitting here watching my CPU spike above 65% sometimes. And I was going, oh gosh. So it's an amazing promotional video showing off your season. How can people get tickets for your season?
For more information, go to our website, operaorlando.org. We're also on YouTube. Tickets are sold through our venue, which is Dr. Phillips Center. You can go to their website as well, drphillipscenter.org. So yeah, thanks, Mark, for plugging our season. We really appreciate it.
Of course, of course. So I want to remind everybody that tonight, starting now, they can go online and see our 2015 Barber of Seville. That's you are starring in as Figaro. At the St. Pete Opera website, stpetopera.org, and I'm showing people a screenshot right now. If you go to stpetopera.org, this is what you see, and you can click on Act 1, and you can watch Act 1, and then you can switch to Act 2. You can also get there by going to YouTube and then typing in St. Petersburg Opera Company, and we have a channel, and then you'd have to look for the video that was, Barber of Seville. But that's how people can view the shows tonight. And I want to thank Gabriel for being our guest tonight. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mark. Enjoy the show. I'm going to watch it myself.
We are. I've got a little play out. It's a 90-second clip of Megan Marino singing part of Una Voce Poco Fa, just for people to kind of transition over. So we'll play that out. And thank you for being with us tonight, Gabriel. Best of luck with everything. I hope to see you at the end of October in Orlando for Die Fledermaus.
I hope so. Stay safe, everybody. Stay safe.
All right. Take care, Gabriel.
Bye, Mark.
Bye-bye. All right, all you opera cats and gattini dolci, if you're still watching, you get to see Rhubarb one last time, the newest member of the Sforzini Roberts household. Rhubarb, you want to wave bye to everybody? Rhubarb, let's show everybody one last time how they can get to the Barber of Seville tonight. Go to www.stpetopera.org, and then you can click on these links, and you can see the Barber of Seville. And that's it. So I'm Maestro Mark Sforzini, and this is Rhubarb. Thanks for joining us. We are signing off for St. Pete Opera Company, keeping our listeners and artists in our hearts. Bye-bye.